Hi, Masingita. It's so great to have you on the Trailblazer Friday. I mean, we look at you in such awe because from our side, we look at the stories that you post. We look at the kind of things that you've done. You've been Woman of the Year, Checkers Woman of the Year. You've been Personality of the Year. You have been selected by the arts as a personality and a Woman of the Year, and so on. It is endless. You actually have said, I want to go and summit Mount Everest and do all these wonderful things. And really for us is to actually understand firstly, who is Masingita, this lady, this warrior woman that is refusing to say, my circumstances, how I was born is not going to limit me. Who is Masingita?
Well, you know, right now that's it's not a hard question, but you know when they tell you that life begins at 14. So when I turned 14, I started to look at life differently. To the point where I tell people, Masingita is an evolving human being, because what I was yesterday and what I am today and what I will be tomorrow are different things. So I usually say to people, as much as I'm a Black woman who happens to have a disability, I cannot say I am this or that, because when circumstances and situations change, you adapt to that, and it can change not you as a person, but it calls for you to be shaped around what is going on. So this says, my short answer to that is, I am what the moment that the situation requires me to be. But I always say to people, one of the things that makes it difficult even for me to answer that question is, I'm very mysterious even to myself. I can never tell you what tomorrow I will do. So life has even taught me not even to judge a situation, because tomorrow I may be doing the very same thing I'm against today. So basically, I'm just a woman who is enjoying her life right now.
Wow. But if I just go back to everything that I had been told and I've read about you, I mentioned before we started that I actually spoke to a friend of mine about a year and a half ago, and he's the one that actually told me about you. And I followed you since then. And just following your life story, I mean, you are a TV producer, you have your own show, and you motivate people, you inspire people, and you own your own company, you're an entrepreneur as well. Growing up, did you know that in the midst of being in a confined or a situation where people are saying your disability can actually get in the way of your dreams, did you actually know that you were going to break through? What made you break through? Were the people around you that helped you? How did you do it?
I always give this story. Firstly, my disability was caused by negligence at hospitals when I was born. So my parents had to find a way to raise me. So Papa, especially Papa, even my mother, and they made a decision that I'm not going to be a burden to anyone, and no one will make me feel like I'm a burden, or like I'm an inconvenience. That's a very conscious decision that they made. So at the age of 8, my father said to me, Ceci, he calls me Ceci when he's happy with me or when he wants me to do something. You know, black fathers. Ceci, make me a cup of tea. That is great when your child doesn't have a coordination disability. But yeah, I am about the coordination disability. I am in this ordinary school in Guyana. I don't even know I have a disability because it was never something that was said. So I would just live life. I knew there were certain things I couldn't do, but there was never a name. So I was never labeled in the house. So Papa says, make me tea. And I'm thinking, how am I going to give me a cup of tea? Then what I did, I boiled water and I took all the utensils to him and I took the kettle to him. And, he made his cup of tea. And then he said to me, my little girl, actually I didn't want tea. I wanted to see, how are you going to do it? And that's when he taught me that the reality or the practicality is he didn't say you have a disability. He said there are certain things that you will not be able to do them like other people do them. But what we're not gonna stand for, you see what you did here. You made a plan. You found your own way to do it. That's how I want you to confront life, because you will always be confronted by situations that are against you. The system is against you, situations are against you. What you're not gonna do is to sit and say, there is nothing that I can do. So in every situation, you will find your own way to do it. So, when you are taught that lesson at the age of 8, you have no options. That's your only way. To the point I tell people that by the age of 11, I could chase a chicken and I couldn't really run. I only started running at the age of 4, but I could somehow chase a chicken, slaughter it, blank it, cut it, and cook it. Because that's how my parents wanted me to be. They wanted me to be as independent as possible until when I turned 18 and I said, I want to drive a car. And they realized they've created something else because they had no expectation of that.
I love your spirit. I absolutely love the fact that you were so brave, you were so audacious, and you've never let anything actually stand in your way. Having a family that absolutely said, we are not going to treat you any differently. We are actually going to tell you that you actually have to make a plan. This is just life. We are not going to feel sorry for you, right? So, but do you have siblings? How do your siblings actually integrate with your life as well?
Look, the thing is, because I'm the first child, and that was the other thing, you're the first child and a girl child. So you do all the responsibilities, household chores and all of that. So I guess because I'm the eldest, it's like my siblings found life being like that. So there is that's how life is. We've got a sister like that. You don't ask, it's just part of life. Wow. My brother always say, you know, which also is the situation with me. She says, I only realized Masingita has a disability when she went to a special school, and that was high school. Me too. I only knew the name when I went to a special school. So all this time, because you are already born into the situation. My brothers were born into the situation. So it was just that it's their life.
Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, how did you actually start with, or where did you get this sort of courage to actually start with your journey around media, television, and some of the things that you do?
Okay. The reason I started in the media and entertainment is I failed matric twice. And it's because of my handwriting. Because one of the things people don't understand is that when you have a disability, even your education, it's not different. And that's one of the unfortunate things about it, because they separated and isolated people with disabilities. We've got our own schools, but the syllabus and curriculum is the same. So when it comes to marking in matric, they're taken to the same marking center. So because of that, I failed matric, and that's the other thing about me. When I went to a special school, I just want to beg to go back just to explain how I got into this challenging industry. When I went to a special school, I was given a typewriter, and I was given a typewriter, and I was told after a year, I decided I don't want to use a typewriter, and I woke up and I made an announcement to my teachers. I said, I've got an announcement. They say, Masingita, you're a student. You don't make an announcement. And I said to them, look here, this is my life. The announcement is regarding me. I'm not using a typewriter anymore because it was limiting me. And I get frustrated by confinement and limitations because of the way I was raised. So I stopped using a typewriter. And then when I got to standard 8, I was told, you've got cerebral palsy, don't take science subjects. And I'm like, but I'm good in maths. Why not? I'm taking science subject. I'll be the first person with cerebral palsy to do it. I wish in matric, you can do, those times you couldn't type maths and science. So I had to write. That's how I failed matric twice. So after passing, and we made a plan, because the department was saying, no, you must write or you must do it orally. And I'm like, no, it's fine, I can do maths and science orally. Do it for me first and show me how it's done, then I'll do it. And they say, but we can't do it. I'm like, how do you expect me to do something that you can't do? So because of failing, I decided I don't want anything to do with school. So that's when I started a beauty pageant for people with disabilities called Miss Confidence. And that's how I got into the entertainment industry, which it's another tough journey I had to go through after 10 years, and it had grown. After 10 years, I put it on hold, and that's when I started my TV show. it was called Masingita with Confidence then. So basically that's how I always say I got into the entertainment and media because of failure.
No, I don't think that's failure. I think, I mean, it was a choice. I think you were quite mindful about what you wanted to do. Because, I mean, for me, I'm thinking about it and saying, you know, here's someone who said, you know, I can't actually go through that path, but there's a different path in which I can highlight the beauty and even the challenges of people living with a number of disabilities. And I'm gonna put a spotlight on it, but I'm also gonna make it beautiful, right? And that's what you did, right?
Yes.
And I can't see that as a failure on any day, right? I mean, you know, so, I mean, well done for doing it, because if you hadn't done that, you know, a lot of people would never have been able to have the courage to raise their children with some of these disabilities to be what they are today. We have kids now who actually talk about the Masingita show and Masingita with Confidence, and have drawn inspiration from the show that you've done. So absolutely well done for that. And just for you pushing boundaries. I mean, you started the Miss Confidence in 1999. You must have, you were in your 20s, you know, you were.
Yeah, I was 20, in 1999, I was 20. When I said that, I was 21.
Yes. I think that's an amazing, amazing story. There are people living with a number of disabilities out there that are that are thinking about what they want to achieve, right? There are women, because this is Women's Month as well, that are living with constrained environments where they live, where they are working, where they are sitting there and saying, I cannot dream bigger. What would you say to that woman today?
Look, a friend of mine reminded me of a statement I used to say around 1999, 2000. And when I met her, she had just been shot. And after being shot, you know, she was dealing with that. And she met me and I said to her, when life and people give you a routine, you've got a choice. You've got to understand that when you get an already cooked meal, somebody has already determined the outcome. But when you get a routine, you're given an opportunity to decide the recipe, to decide the method, to decide the presentation. So the outcome of that meal is on you, not on somebody else. What I'm saying is, when life gives you a raw deal, cook it the way you want to cook it.
Yes. Wow, that is so profound. You know, I don't want this conversation to stop. So basically, to every woman actually listening to this particular session, each and every one of them should be actually thinking, okay, if I get whatever circumstances that I'm born into, or that I've inherited, or COVID has affected me, I've lost my job and so on, there is something I can do, and do it my way, and actually do it in the way that serves me, you know?
Yes.
So I think that is an amazing, amazing story to share with everyone. Thank you so much for spending the time with us and sharing your story, which I think is super inspirational. Just how you've not even thought of yourself firstly as being someone with any kind of disability. And then when you are made aware of it, saying this is not going to stop me and I'm going to do even bigger things. I mean, for those who actually are listening to Masingita's story for the first time, I encourage you to go to www.masingita.net. Is that correct, Masingita?
Yes.
And read the stories about confidence that you've actually written, and your website just on how to live positively, how to not be constrained, how not to be actually thinking that every circumstance is there to hold you down, but sometimes it's just a springboard for you to go to the next level. I encourage each and everyone to listen to your story, follow you on your social media pages, and just listen to you and be motivated. I am motivated. I'm certainly inspired by your story. So thank you so much for spending the evening with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hey, God bless.